even more important, I think this is to me the number one topic that I have in my head right now, and that's involving Marvel and their Phase 4 offerings. So, me and you have talked off camera plenty of times about Marvel. We've talked on camera about Marvel and their Phase 4 and what's going on right now. And I think that Marvel, I don't know if I don't. I think they've lost it, man. I think they've lost it. Let's get to the article real quick. This is on. Sorry, I didn't go through it all. This is on Games Radar. I'm just kind of using this as a way to just kind of
Yeah.
talk about Marvel Phase 4. And here's what's upcoming, right? Or here's where they started with. So they started out with WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, Black Widow, Shang-Chi, What If, the Eternals, Hawkeye, Spider-Man, Moon Knight. So that's what we've gotten so far in Phase 4. And let me tell you, right now, Marvel Phase 4 is just, to me, it's a nothing burger. It is a huge nothing burger. This show has, I mean, this particular phase has not landed. It has not done the job of keeping me intrigued and entertained at all. And I likened it to, I think I was talking to you about this. I likened it to, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe really ended with Endgame. It kind of ended with Endgame. Endgame was it, right? And so now you get to this Phase 4, and it's kind of like, when you go to the club and the club is closing up, and everybody's like, hey, all right, the party's over, everything's done. You got the guys sweeping up, wiping tables and stuff, but you still got this little crew in the corner kind of still trying to party. They still trying to get their groove on. It's like, yo, man, the club is closed. The club is closed. I mean, you guys got to get up out of here. And everybody's like, well, let's go take it to the after party.
Hey, club is closed.
The club is closed, man. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is done. I mean, the club is closed. Unless they start bringing out something like, Fantastic Four, unless they start getting with Blade, unless they get the X-Men going, this thing is done. I mean, I am not interested in any of this stuff.
They're going to throw in the white towel?
They're not going to throw in the white towel. I'm saying that this thing is a wrap, man. The club is closed. The party is over. It was Endgame. They called it Endgame. It's a wrap. It's done. Okay? But they keep still trying to keep the party going with, Hawkeye and Moon Knight. Like, Moon Knight, Eternals, like this stuff is the absolute epitome of a nothing burger. This is not entertaining. We're gonna get to Moon Knight in a minute, and we both feel the exact same way about Moon Knight. But just like going through this list, like what did you really see that stood out? That was like, oh yeah, I couldn't wait to that. Maybe Spider-Man: No Way Home, but that's a Sony property. WandaVision had its moments, but it fizzled, down the stretch. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, dumb. Loki. Again, same thing like WandaVision, just hit and miss. Like one good episode, one bad episode. Black Widow was terrible. Shang-Chi was terrible. What If was just, The Eternals was terrible. All right.
Hold on.
All right. I'm here for your thoughts. I'm here for your thoughts, T.
Let me just tell you this. Do you remember Thor 2 Dark World?
I do.
Do you do?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't really remember it. Do you remember Ant-Man 2? They were okay.
I remember these movies, man.
They were okay movies, right? Everybody felt like that when, oh man, they come with. I remember I was a dummy back in the day and thought, oh man, Guardians of the Galaxy, there it is. Oh, they couldn't keep up their momentum. Here's a failure, and they exceeded, right? They've had a few missteps, like I spoke about last week. The Eternals, Black Widow, and Shang-Chi, right? They could have been great movies, dude.
Look at that list to tell me what worked for you, T. In Phase 4. That's the Phase 4 list right there. What do you see on this list that you can say, you know what, bravo, Marvel, maybe just one film. Everything else is just like, nope. Speechless. I got you speechless. That's what I'm saying.
But look, this phase will be forgettable.
This is forgettable, man.
They call it Phase 4. I think Phase 5 is gonna be Phase Jive, and Phase 6 is gonna be Phase Fix. It's just gonna happen, man. That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Look, they just. I told you last week what on the great movie V for Vendetta. They need to remember why they need us. So you got to put the squeeze right now, man. That's all. It's just they have no competition. And they're so. I think that the part that you're not speaking about is the elephant in the room to say that they aren't they aren't in a position to lose. They're in a position to sell. And that's exactly what they do. They got, remember, Disney owns this thing. They've got cross products that they can, maneuver. Sell you this, I can sell you that, man. You wasn't in the mood for this, but I'll get you that. Right now we're in line. When you're in line at Ross or at DD,
Mm-hmm.
at Burlington, there's those treats that are in front of you, right? That they're like, man, what do they got these things here for, man? Oh, you know what? I actually needed this cutter, or I needed these earbuds, man. That I don't know where they're from. Oh, I'm just
Impulse buying. Impulse buying.
right, just an impulse buy. Right now, we're in the impulse buy part because we don't know what's in store. We don't know. So I think everybody just needs to calm down, dude.
T, you
Marvel's
being
going to
very
deliver, dude.
generous.
They're
I,
going
I'm
to.
surprised at you, man. You being so generous with this. I'm so surprised because
I'm not.
look,
I'm not.
Marvel.
I'm not phased, man. Because I expect them to do this. I expect them to do what they're doing, man. It's sales. It's sales. In its marketing strategy, dude. They don't. They can give the fans what they want, and then start from a clean slate. This thing is not going anywhere. See, they've cut into market share.
Mhm.
They've cut into market share of other genres. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about how these movies are actually movies. They're not just the comic book movies. They're movies. They've cut into no other movies are making money like this. These things are making money. Now, now, granted, Black Widow and like I said, Shang-Chi and Eternals, that was a huge. They're fudging the numbers on that. Just like we know they fudged the numbers on Captain Marvel. But look, this they're going to be okay. They're going to be
I mean,
fine.
you have a lot more confidence in them than I do. I think this thing right now, at least as Phase 4 is concerned, is a giant house of cards
Well,
because
what's your deal with like what's the real reason you don't have confidence?
because all we've seen so far is this is what this Marvel Cinematic Universe looks like when you get away from the Russo brothers. Okay, when the Russo brothers aren't making your film, this is what you get. When James Gunn ain't making your material, this is what you get. Okay, when you don't have Robert Downey Jr. and Scarlett Johansson, well, she was in Black Widow, but nevertheless, when you don't have these things, this is what you get. I'm starting to think that Kevin Feige has built this thing on this house of shaky cards. Okay, you've had a couple of really good characters. You had Captain America and Iron Man, solid characters. Okay, that kind of carried you through your whole phase, all 3 phases. They carried you through. You had the Russo brothers come in making 4 great films, okay, and the 2 Captain America sequels, and then the 2 Avenger films. So they did their job, all right. And then all of the rest of the stuff, like you say, is more like, okay, you got a Thor: The Dark World. Like even Guardians 2 is just all right, but you've built it on these little shaky pegs, and then you have this fortress up here, right? But then once you start saying, okay, let's dig underneath this thing and let's see what else they got, then they start throwing out the Eternals. It's like, oh my goodness, man, what was that? Like they're starting to throw a whole lot of stuff at the wall. Nothing sticking. Everything is just sliding off the wall after they throw it up there. The only thing that really hung in was Spider-Man. That was it. That was it. And that's a Sony property. They don't even have the rights to that. So now you start looking at everything else, like this Moon Knight series, which we're about to get to. I don't know what they're doing with this, but this doesn't intrigue me at all. And so now I'm start.
But wait a minute.
Oh my
You're
gosh.
talking about the family entertainment company that you like the family and the kids in the movies. You like all that. The
But this
kids
ain't.
in the movies.
There was nothing about kids in the movies with Moon Knight. Moon Knight is not a
You
kid's
like
film.
that stuff.
I
You
like that. I like stuff like that's done well. Like I think that first Ant-Man, that was fine. Okay, I thought that was a really well done, kids, like kind of entry level kids film to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I like the Spider-Man first one. I'm not a huge fan of the second one. The third one had a lot of fan service, so that was fine. But again, like I can't even talk about Spider-Man. That's like a Sony thing. Like I'm talking about Marvel and what they're doing. And when I look at this, Groot was fine. Like I said, James Gunn did his thing. But when I'm looking at the rest of this, and I'm like, what did Falcon and the Winter Soldier give me? What did the Eternals give me? What did Hawkeye give me?
Just feeling. You know what it is?
Filler. A whole
Right,
phase
it's the
of
page
filler.
in between the pages. It's the page. It's the page of the book that got ripped out because everybody said, "Man, nah, this doesn't really need to be." So I'm fine with that, D. I'm fine with that. You'll be surprised on my thoughts about Moon Knight when we discuss later. But I agree with you to a point. But this is just filler, dude. It's okay. I appreciate filler as opposed to what I'm not getting from the other guys. I'm not getting this from the other guys.
You want the filler. You want enough DC stuff so that by the time we get to by the time we get to this level, it's like we're just getting all the filler, and you're here for that. I can appreciate that.
Even if you want to say something,
yeah,
you cannot say that their filler is not better than DC's. It's better. DC's only got 2 home runs with 2.5.
Depends on who you talk to.
Swamp Thing, Peacemaker. And I told you, I really like Stargirl, man. That first season, man. Some of those things, man. The villains, dude, was the best sell on that, dude. I know I'm in the minority here, but hey, Stargirl was, man. That twist in season 1 was very good.
All right, folks. Well, let me hear from you now. T's weighed in. I've weighed in. What do you think of this Marvel Phase 4 so far? So far, all right. I know Doctor Strange is coming, and that's supposed to like kind of save everything. I'm a Sam Raimi guy, so I have nothing but confidence that Sam Raimi is going to knock this thing out of the park. But Phase 4, that particular lineup, what do you think about Phase 4 so far? Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts on that. All right, T.